I understand what you're saying. But there's a lot more to it. Yes, you go and you socialize with the deaf people, you learn their culture, you get in with them and learn their habits and what they do, and then you take that and you put it in with your life, what works and what doesn't. Compare. Oh, this works in deaf culture, this doesn't work in hearing culture. What do I do over here? What do I do over there? How does this work in comparison with this? You don't just socialize with the deaf. Why don't you just go out and meet a deaf person, become their friend? Well, you don't automatically become friends with hearing people just showing up because you're hearing and they're hearing too. The way this is stated is like, well, let's go out with the deaf community and give them our credit card and our social security card because, we're friends. I want to be in with you. It's not going to work. We're not friends with someone because they're of our culture. We can identify with them, but they're not necessarily our friend. Hey there, young student who barely knows any ASL. Go and make friends with this deaf drug dealer. That's a good idea. No. And the concept of hours, getting hours for hours' sake, yes, students do that. Students also do homework because homework is due. They don't do it because I love math. I love writing essays. This is my thing. No. They do it because it's required. They have to do it to get through the class, to make it through life. Some people will go and do their hours because they have to do hours. And when they do that, they're going to quit. They're not going to do anything with the deaf anymore. It's a horrible thing. It's a terrible thing. But that's the way it is sometimes. People do things for their own poor meanings, poor intentions. That's human nature. And it's not that hearing people are bad, and it's not that I'm going to take advantage of your people and your culture for my grade. It's just the way things work sometimes. So those people who just get the hours and then leave and have nothing to do with deaf people again, they're not going to be interpreters. They're not going to work with the deaf anymore. I believe that the deaf community is not naive to this. They don't look at them and go, oh, well, I don't know what's going on, why they're not becoming an interpreter because, oh, they're here for the hours. I think they say, oh, are your hours done? Is our time done? Okay, great. Well, have a good life because I will never see you again. Same thing that the hearing people are saying who are not going to pursue it. So, people who are learning, who want to become interpreters, should, yes, go and get out with the deaf people. That's great. I never will I ever say, don't go hang out with deaf people. That's not the way to learn sign language. Of course it is. However, go learn their culture, go learn what happens, and then learn from an interpreter how to work between cultures. Learn from an ambassador how to work between cultures. And it doesn't necessarily have to be an interpreter. It could be someone who works in service with the deaf, a case manager, a social worker, people who know the deaf people. They are ambassadors. If you would like to become an interpreter and you really like the way an interpreter works, how they do their thing, ask them. If you can catch them, we wonder why the interpreting community is decreasing and there's not enough interpreters around. Well, how about we people who are certified help out the people who aren't? Don't do your job and leave. Or students, if you want to do it, go talk to the interpreter when they're done working. Ask them questions. See what happened. Why did they process that information in that way? How did you fit that triangle into that circular hole? Oh, because you're an interpreter. I want to do that. I want to learn how to move material, move information from one place to another. Just going to socialize with the deaf is not enough to become an interpreter. It's not.